As I've stated in a previous video, I was going to show you guys how I make custard rhubarb squares. So I'm going to grab some of the dessert one because it's just been in here a year, so I don't want to take too much off it. So I assume most people know how to cut rhubarb, but you don't cut it when you first take it off. And I'm looking for the thicker one, so you just peel it off the, you should just be able to peel it, pop it off the bottom. And then what I do, cut the leaf off there, and then keep that. Now this recipe calls for 4 to 5 cups of chopped rhubarb, so it does use a lot. Then I just lay the leaf down, and it becomes like a feeds it and keeps the weeds down, which is I probably should clean this out first. Although, yeah, so we're just going to grab a few of this one. So once again, oops, leaf. Just pull it off the bottom. That's a nice thick one. Just going to take a few from this bunch because this one seems to have grown the biggest. This one, much as you can't see it in the weeds, is too small, and I'd prefer that one just to do its thing. This one's got a dying leaf on it, so we should be able to take that one. And that one in there. Just the nice thick ones. All these little pencil ones, they'll either grow bigger or they won't, but it'll help feed the plant so that it can keep, so you can see coming up with a new one there. So I just really want to make sure I let it to be established properly. So we'll cut the leaves off these guys, try and get that to stand still. I just use kitchen scissors. Right, that's certainly not enough for our recipe, so we're going to go around to the other pile and get some more from there. Right, this rhubarb is it's almost a green variety, so it's a little bit more tart, but it actually works really well with this recipe because it, you know, sweet and tart is really nice together. So I'll pop you guys down here, and then we'll grab some leaves. So same theory as before. You want to find the thick ones. Just try and get you guys to stand up. It's been difficult. Right, there we go. So as you can see, they're not red like the other ones, but they're very prolific. So cut the ends off. Right, and then all the extra leaves, just chuck it around it. So I've made a little bit of a dent. I did have that much, so what we'll do is we'll go and cut that up and measure it up, and I know I've got a few more stalks left in there if I go, oh, not quite enough. But then if you have too much, well, I'll show you what I do about that a bit later. Let's go and cut them up. Okay, got them inside. Got 2 bowls because the recipe calls for mixing the base in that and one, and then the topping on that one. So we'll get that one and we'll cut them up and see how much I've got. I'll show you the first one, how I do. Board. We'll put that over there. There you go. Right, I don't tend to wash them unless they're majorly dirty. But cut that end where you peeled it off the plant down. Sometimes it takes a lot with it, other times it doesn't. Do the same again on the bit you cut. Just takes off a lot of that, which actually ends up being quite stringy if you don't take it off. Find it easier to put it on the side. This recipe is not mine. I got it off Pinterest, so I will add a link to the bottom of the video so you guys can find it if you want to. So that's basically all we do. Cut across there, fold down. See, that one's a lot thinner. So quite thin. And then again at the other end. Get that off the board. Okay. Sometimes you get it do that, just take it away. Don't keep it. Alright. So I'm going to fill up 4 cups. So I'll get on and do that. Right, so that's all that done. So on the recipe, it does call for 4 or 5 cups. I've done 5 cups this time, only because I only have like 3 stalks left, which if anything I'll probably just stew and have on my breakfast or something. So then that's all that done. So what I do now is I leave those sitting there, and then I will get on and do the crust for it. So we'll get on and do that. Right, the recipe calls for flour, sugar and butter, and then you just mix that all together. I'm going to weigh out the butter first and then add everything on top, and then we will mix that all together. Just get my scales. So instead of measuring in a different bowl, just put it on the bowl on top. It does say half a cup of butter, 1 stick, room temperature. I had to do a conversion because I work in grams, so it's 113 grams. Oops, turn it on first. Had the butter out so it's very soft, which is good because then you've got to mix it all in, it makes it easier. Right, that's 113. Not quite. Anyway, that's right. I'll just. Right, so then we need 1 1/4 cups of flour and half a cup of sugar. Oh, sorry, 1 1/4 cups. And half a cup of sugar. because my butter was really soft because I accidentally left it sitting in the sunshine. This shouldn't be too difficult with a fork. But then saying that, sometimes I also get in there and just do it with my hands after a certain point because it just, yeah, works better. Make sure you get out all the lumps. That feels pretty good. No big lumps. Give the hands a wash and get the container out because we have to now cook the base. Oh, weird voice. Cook the base for 10 to 12 minutes until lightly browned. So we'll get that in the oven and then we'll move on to doing the filling. Easier to pop into a container if you screw it up, just in case you didn't know. Spread it out. Right, we'll get that in the oven and we'll move on to doing the base, which, sorry, the filling, which I might just move those to there. And then we'll get on and do that. Okay, and then for the base, blend the sugar, flour, and then add the eggs, vanilla, and then the rhubarb. Okay, so we need to get, what do I want? Sugar, 1 cup. It says 1 cup and it sounds like a lot of sugar, but with rhubarb you kind of need it. Otherwise it'll be very, very sour. I don't add the salt, so we'll just add the flour. Just 2 tablespoons. That's just a binder, I think. It's kind of like a custard. 4 eggs beaten. So I've got 2 from my my older girls and 2 from my new ladies who are laying, my new baby girls. Fork. And then we want to add the vanilla. And, what do we got? 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. to mix that up first, just because it gives it's bound all together. Add all the rhubarb in, and it just makes it a bit easier. Always mix the liquidy stuff, and then you can just fold in all your rhubarb. This is 5 cups, not 4, and I've made it with both, and it comes out just as good. So we're going to just now leave that to sit there, and we're going to wait for the base, and then we'll add that on the top and cook that. And yeah. Now while we wait for the base, I'll tell you what I do with any extras. So during the year that grows, I'll keep pack it all up and freeze it. So this one I've written on here rhubarb crisp, so that's 3 cups. So that's a dessert, so I make sure there's 3 cups in there. So during the winter I can still go ahead and make the rhubarb custard bars, which I'm making now. So I'll chop up and freeze together the 4 or 5 cups, and then any other recipes that I have saved. I think I've got a rhubarb brownie as well, and that's very nice. So lots of different ideas. I get most of them from Pinterest. So yeah, this is what I do with all my extras, unless of course like I've got just the 3, I'll probably just stew that up and add it for my breakfast. So just thought I'd talk about that while we're waiting for the base to cook. Right, that's it after 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is probably just put the topping on there, because it's got to cook for another 30 to 35 minutes. I normally put it on for 25 and just keep checking it after that, but I don't want my base to burn, because I cook in a gas oven, so it doesn't really have a thermostat. You'll probably be alright if you have a proper oven as such. I'll just tip that on the top. The base is now nice and warm. It does look quite chunky, but in the end all the rhubarb gets nice and soft, and of course yes, the mix in the middle, oops, that jumped off, makes a nice custard filling with it as well. Alright, so I'll put that in the oven for another, I'll check it in about 25 minutes. We'll make a cup of tea and clean out the dishes while we wait for it to cook. Right, that was 25 minutes, so I've just got it out. And what you're looking for is this to be all set, which you can see it's set. If it's not, it'll be runny. Oh, I don't know, there's still a little bit of moisture in there, isn't there? So that, yeah, actually, still a bit of moisture. You want to go with, put that on the outside. So we'll probably put that in for another, what did I say? So probably another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll have a look at it. Right, that was just under 10 minutes, so extra. And looking at that, you can see it's all nice and solid now. So I would definitely leave it in its container for a little while. It gets very hot. And you can see all the rhubarb's nice and soft now. And then yeah, we'll cut into that later. And it's one of my husband's favourite slices, so he'll enjoy that when he gets back home. So there we go, that's how you make that, and it is absolutely delicious, especially if you keep it in the fridge between eating it. it definitely takes on that custardy flavour. So give it a go if you've got rhubarb, and let me know what you reckon. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.